Olha, está melhor. Está melhor que há bocado. So we are on,
So,
and the bell rings, and I have to ask you this right away. This is very important for me to know. What are you drinking, Ernesto?
I'm drinking some, yeah, we call it cassis.
Cassis?
It's, yeah, we call it cassis in Holland. And it's some kind of cherry drink,
Okay, it's like, but not like a soda, or more like a fermented drink.
like soda.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
So
yeah,
indulging a little bit, indulging a little bit.
exactly. I will not get drunk. I will not get drunk. Don't worry.
You don't like alcohol at all.
Yeah, I drink alcohol sometimes. Not too much, but I like alcohol for sure.
What do you drink? If you're gonna drink alcohol with your buddies, what you're gonna drink?
With my body is probably beer.
Beer. Oh, okay, nice, nice, nice. I was
Yeah,
I was
and
in.
I'm not into like whiskey or something. The strong liquors I'm not so into that much.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, but not so much. Yeah.
Were you always very strict with that, with the diet regimen during preparation for fights?
In the beginning of my career, for sure. Later in my career, I was a little bit more loose in that, and I knew my body better, so I knew what I could do and what I could not do. But like before the fight, I would never drink or something. I would be strict with eating, drinking, everything. And basically, I'm still like that. I'm not such an alcohol drinker.
So we're gonna get into that because this is also a fitness channel. So I'm very, very interested in finding out how you get ready for fights, how you still are in amazing shape, how you work out, etc., and the dieting as well. But from the information that I gathered from your Instagram, did I see correctly that you're gonna fight again?
Yes, you saw
May
it.
May 8th? No, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
What's gonna happen? Tell me about it.
Well, actually, I got approached if I would to do a fight. And yeah, I mean, you're always a fighter. That never stops. That the feeling of being a fighter doesn't go away. Actually, with me, it didn't go away. So they gave me a nice offer, and I had something like, okay, let's do it. I just started my preparation. Better start early, take it slowly, and then build my condition up the coming months.
So it's not just you, but it's some of the legends that we grew up watching fighting in K1,
Yeah,
right? It's not just you. It's Peter
yeah.
Arts as well. It's Jerome Lebanner, and who else?
Mark Hunt, maybe.
Oh, Mark Hunt. Yes, Mark Hunt as well. Yeah, exactly. But tell me something. Nowadays, we are in a weird time. We had the golden era of K1. Right now, we have a lot
Yeah.
of MMA. People are very interested in MMA and UFC and whatnot. First of all, how do you see, for example, UFC? Do you watch UFC? Do you watch MMA or not so much?
Well, especially uh, actually the very first UFC, I was asked if I wanted to fight, but then it was with bare hands and everything, and I was like, no, this is not for me. That was in the same year. It was in '93, just after the first K1. So I said no. Years later, a guy I trained with went to UFC. Um, and then I was there as a coach, as a trainer, and I saw everything, and I was like, okay, I don't want to learn. I don't want to learn the groundwork anymore. I was already far in my 30s or maybe even in my 40s, so that was too late for me. Uh, if let's say the UFC would have been started when I was, let's say, 20 or something, for sure I would have become a UFC fighter.
Yeah, yeah, because it's a different game. Obviously, you guys were the kings of
Yeah, but
strike.
it's very interesting,
Yeah.
and the fact that you have even more ways for your fight. more possibilities. That makes it very interesting, in my opinion.
Have you tried grappling at all? Do you do any type of grappling? Because I know I saw that the third fight that you did with Bob Sapp was professional wrestling, but there's no footage of that fight on YouTube or anything. I was really trying to look for it. Maybe I missed it, but what was it?
Yeah, there was some kind of show wrestling,
Oh, like a WWE, but a little bit more serious.
something like that.
Oh, nice.
WWE with kickboxing techniques.
Was it fun? Was it cool to do it?
Uh, yes and no. At the one hand, because it was the last fight of the evening, and of course, I think 2 months before I lost to him. So, in my feeling, it was not so good. I didn't have a good feeling with it.
I understand. And this is
Yeah.
also a segue to talk about what's happening now. That's what I was trying to get at too, because I'm interested in your opinion, not just in terms of the fighting, but what do you think of the new fighters, etc. And I don't know. I don't know, as a martial artist myself, I don't know where to put myself in, or which opinion to have on what's going on nowadays, in which you have a lot of crossover. For example, guys from strongman going into boxing and trying to do challenges to one another, or guys from YouTube, YouTubers going and fighting boxing and stuff like that. Do you think that in the long run that will be helpful for the modalities, for the sport, or is it a little bit nonsense? And are you more old school and traditional?
No, I think it's entertainment, and but the only thing is that you have to divide them. The one thing is for fun, and the other one is serious, and people have to know this
Yeah.
is for fun, this is serious. As long as people know that, it is no problem.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Now, like in the 80s, you had like the wrestling, WWF, WWE. Many people thought it was real. Of course, because they always made a story and everything, and then they came back and this and that was kind of interesting if you liked it. When we make stories, it's real stories. When I fight with somebody and I lose, and I want to fight again because I lost, that is a real story. And then you can make something nice about it, and that's what's happening also in fight sport, especially when a famous or a well-known fighter loses a fight, he's gonna try to come back, and he want a revenge or something, and that's what people like. People like revenge, and even more when they don't really like each other. Then it's even more interesting. So I think it's a good thing.
And I realized that your movie just got out in the Dutch TV. So are you trying
Yeah,
out a little bit? Are you having fun doing a little bit of acting? Kronos, right?
yeah, I liked it. I like to do it. The whole atmosphere with the other actors, and I mean the waiting I was used to, because if I would do a TV commercial in Japan, I had to wait a long time also.
Go, 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 come in the fire. Go, 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 come in the fire. 僕らは待っている。無敵の城を強い、強い、ごめん、ごめん、something new. Go!
I just hope that people like it, and people like the way I did it, and that I can get do more auditions. I did one more audition, but I didn't get that role. Um, so yeah, if there is more to come, then I will be happy to do that.
Oh, that's a very interesting career that you can have as well. Like
Yeah.
you have this fight every once in a while, but then because you're always a fighter, just like you said, you're always a fighter until the end of time. But still,
Yeah.
try something else and have a little fun with it. And I love what you're doing in social media as well. So it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to keep seeing you so refreshed. So after all the punches and kicks and you guys, it's like, man, each time I remember I was a kid. I was trying out some bodybuilding, working out in the gym, and then I looked to the side and there was in Eurosport, like the fights, and I would just get the chills. I still get the chills when I see you fight those guys, like your fight against Jerome Lebanner or Andy Hug. And so after all the strikes, after all the head hits and the punches and the kicks, how do you still get to be so healthy and so fit? What's a typical day for you? How do you take care of yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm still healthy or fit, not always fit, but now I'm training again, so I'm getting fitter and fitter. Yeah, it is basically something like just do it. It is something you have done for so many years, so you know exactly what to do, how to do it. And what I also learned throughout the years is listening to my body. And even sometimes the trainer would say, yeah, but do another training, and then after that you stop. No, then no. And now I'm like, no, if I don't feel good, I don't train. And I take a rest, then I do nothing. Maybe I gonna clean my house or something, but
That's training as
nothing,
well.
nothing, not. Yeah, well, that's training, but that's not that heavy. So those kind of things, or lay down on the couch the whole day because I don't feel like doing anything.
That's good, respecting your body and always knowing
Exactly.
when to go extra mile, or no, I'll stop right here for now. And because you've been to the circuit.
Yeah.
So how's a typical day?
Exactly.
Let's say you're feeling good. How's a typical day for you? What time do you get up? How many sessions a day do you have? How do you divide between kickboxing and, for example, either the cardio or the bodybuilding? How do you do that? What time do you get up?
Okay. I wake up around 7:30. I am divorced, so half of the time my children are with me. Half of the time my children are with my ex-wife. If my children are with me, I have a young. My youngest son is 14, so I have to guide him a little bit. When he has to go to school, I will always make sure I wake up the same time. And when he goes away, then maybe most of the time I will train or something. Most of the time, my training starts about 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, something like that. And then most of the time it will be cardio. It will be cardio. I'm not doing so much weight training. I will do that, but not yet. So right now, it's just the cardio and become fitter and fitter. And after that, I will also will do some weight training. If I do all together now, it will be too much.
Okay, so is that the only session you do? Do you have another one at night, right? Because you said that before
No.
our chat, you were gonna be training.
Uh, Sometimes I train at night, but not that much. Basically, I train once a day,
Okay,
and now it is like 3 or 4 times a week. And then my body will become stronger and stronger. And I think at the end, my training will be around 8 to 10 times a week,
okay.
but not yet.
So you're ramping up the volume of the workouts. Okay, so not a lot of
Exactly.
kickboxing right now, or a little bit of bag work, a little bit of pads. No.
Yeah, I do pads, but not. I don't do sparring yet.
Okay.
I don't do sparring yet. The sparring will. I think I start the sparring end of the month or something. If I spar now, I went with one of the guys I train. Without any training, I went sparring, and that didn't work out. So I don't do that anymore. I know, and when I do sparring, my condition must be good, and then I can do a lot. If not, it's gonna be a problem.
That is such amazing advice. I think everybody should listen to that because even youngsters who have have the full-blooded youngsters who want everything and want to step in the ring, they should know that they
Yeah,
should get conditioned first. You should get conditions
yeah,
before you even go on a football match with a couple of buddies because you might get injured. Much more if you're
yeah.
gonna step in the ring and want to spar. People want to spar and want to spar hard, and that's not at
Yeah.
all intelligent. Do you
Yeah,
do?
but of course, that is for me. It is my experience. You know,
Mm,
that is experience. I know what I can do. I know what I cannot do. I know how to build things up. I know I have to take my time to do things right. You know, all those kind of things coming together. Yeah, and that works out for me.
what about the diet? Like, is there any difference between the diet you will do right now in preparation to the diet you did back in the '90s, for example, or in the 2000s?
Back in the 90s, I was not dieting at all.
So the
I mean,
more,
the only thing I did was making sure I wouldn't take too much sugar, and that's basically the thing I will do also now. Slimming my body by eating healthy, not too much sugar, but not yet. I will start with that in a few weeks. I will become very serious. My body condition is not that bad, but it must become a lot better. You don't want to look like fat or something.
yeah, yeah, it's a good indicator.
No?
People underestimate the mirror, but the mirror is a great indicator of okay, so I look like this, so something must be wrong. It's not always the scale, right?
Yeah, well, you know, I turn it around. When I want to look into the mirror, I have to think like, oh yeah, you look better. I look better and better. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's what I want to see when I'm in the mirror. When I'm in the look in the mirror and I don't look that good, it's okay because I suppose that when I start my training, my body's gonna change, and it's not gonna change in a week. And I don't need a week. I need more time, so that's okay. I will take and all the time I need.
Yeah. So keep adjusting as you go. How do you say
Yeah,
fat in Dutch?
same,
Oh, it's fat.
same. Yeah,
Oh, I
fat.
thought I was
Only
gonna learn a new
you
word.
write it. You write it. VET.
Oh, okay. Vet, vet.
In English is FAT, but in Dutch it's VET.
Oh, vet. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
vet. I
yeah,
actually I
yeah.
was in Amsterdam 3 years ago shooting that. I work
Mhm.
as a stuntman. I was shooting that movie, The Hitman's
Yeah.
Bodyguard. With Samuel Jackson and Yeah.
Oh, I think I saw you because yeah, I like that movie actually.
It's
I
good.
saw it
It's
a few
good.
times. Yeah, and and they showed the stunts. They showed it on TV.
Oh,
Was it on the water?
yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So you were doing the stunts in the canal?
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy because we were
Oh,
doing the chase scene in which Samuel Jackson
yeah,
steals. I'm the guy with the
yeah.
speedboat. He jumps into my
Okay.
speedboat. He steals the speedboat, and I
Yeah,
fell on the canal like I don't know 50
yeah,
times.
yeah, yeah,
So I guess
yeah.
I don't even know how I didn't get COVID like before time, because it's crazy.
Okay,
The kid.
this is you.
Yeah, this is me. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Holding a case of champagne bottles, getting ready for party, and then
Okay.
not so not so much. Where are you going?
Then
Wow.
party was gone. Party was finished.
Yeah. So you work out your entire life in order to do the stunts and get hit by cars and do the jumps and the kicks, and then no, you're gonna fall in the water 50 times. But I'm very proud
I
as
agree.
well because I learned the great Dutch word, but I don't
No.
remember what it means. But it's very difficult to pronounce, and I'm very proud of myself because I now can pronounce it. It's.
What is it?
Let me try it. Let me try it at take one. Reguliersgracht.
Reguliersgracht.
Ah, yeah. yeah, I got it right. Reguliersgracht. It's not easy, right?
Yeah,
What does it mean?
that's one of the canals.
One of the canals.
No, Reguliersgracht is just one of the canals.
It's like the tree
Basically,
canal.
So gracht, the last part you say, the gracht, that's canal.
Oh, good.
Gracht means canal. And reguliers is basically, what is reguliers? That's an old word. We don't use it. We don't use it anymore.
Oh, really?
It's something like reguliers. I thought it was something that had to do something with justice or something.
Oh, really? So I learned something for nothing?
Yeah.
I learned the word that you guys don't use anymore. Thanks.
Yeah, we don't. Well, no, it's not true. It's not true. We use the word regulier. And regulier, when we use it like that, regulier, it's something like normally.
Oh, okay.
But reguliersgracht is not normally canal or something. But basically,
Oh, it can
the
have two
word
meanings.
Regulier, it has more meanings.
Oh,
Exactly.
nice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how did you start the martial arts? Were you already active as a kid? I know that you wanted to go to kickboxing when you were 13, but your father was like, no, that's too violent. So you were a football player? You were playing football?
I played football and I played athletics. And when I was 13, I heard about I saw something about kickboxing on TV, and that looked very dynamic. Only the word kickboxing, kicking and boxing, but that was very interesting. So I asked my dad, "Can I do kickboxing?" And my dad said, "Where do you have to do that?" I said, "In Amsterdam," because I don't live in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I live in a place called Hoorn. Hoorn is like about 45 kilometers from Amsterdam.
It's north, right?
So he said, yeah. So he said, no, that's not gonna happen, you know. But when it is close in Hoorn, then you can do it. So 2 years later, a guy came to teach kickboxing in Hoorn. So and then I started, and then after I appeared to be a talent with some other guys also. My trainer, he came from Amsterdam, and he left Amsterdam with some arguments with his coach. So he was like, okay, I leave, and I will start for myself. But when I come back to Amsterdam, I have to come back with good fighter, because otherwise they're all gonna laugh at me. So then he came with me. I was the first one of the gym who could do a fight. That went well. I won by knockout. I won my first 4 fights by knockout. I went from then. I went to a higher class. Basically, we have 4 classes in Holland. You have the new fighters class. You have the C class, the B class, and the A class. Well, I don't know why, but I never fought the new fighters class. I started the C class right away. But I won all my fights by knockout. Went B class quick. B class also went very good. And then even before I went to A class, before I officially went to A class, I got offered a fight in Canada for quite a lot of money against the world champion full contact. So without low kicks, without knees, only boxing and kicking above the waist. We did the fight. And the guy was a little bit afraid to put his title on the line. So we, for the non-title fight, I lost on points, but I made good impression. And then from then I went higher and higher on the ranking.
So you also competed in Savat and Muay Thai, right?
Savat, yeah.
Later on,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you started in K1 when? Was it 1993? Right?
Three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1993.
The first K1 I was there. The first K1 93. I was one of the fighters. I fought Peter Arts in the first fight. I beat him on points. Then I fought Maurice Smith in the second fight. Won by knockout. And then I lost to Branko Sikatic. But I don't say I wouldn't have lost on the different circumstances. But the fact is that I came back out of the ring. I had problems with my right shin in my right hand. The right shin I injured with a fight with Peter. The right hand I injured with a fight with Maurice. I went back to the dressing room. After 5 minutes, they came back with new gloves. Yeah, you have to fight again. So I was just putting ice on my leg, ice on my hand, and yeah, so no time to recover, fight again. So I was just like, okay, let's just not think about it. Let's just do it. But my concentration was not good, so I got knocked out. Anyway, they had a good impression about me, and that's basically when my life in Japan started.
Yes, and guys went crazy over you in Japan. I mean, I still love
Sometimes.
I love those videos of you doing those pranks in the library. You know those videos? It got so
Yeah.
viral. Man, I still have friends of mine coming to me and saying, look at this show with Ernesto Hoost, with the
Yeah.
balloon and with the wasabi. Which one was the worst
Yeah.
experience of those?
Which one was the worst?
The karaoke? You 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 singing
The karaoke was okay.
you singing Japanese is so funny.
Which one was the worst?
The wasabi?
The wasabi was okay. I mean, I'm from Suriname. I'm used to eating spicy,
Spicy
so that was
stuff,
not such
right?
a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what was the worst?
I remember the balloon.
The balloon. There was there was one thing that I really didn't like, but now I forgot. I will come to it later, maybe.
Was it the nibbling on the ear from the old guy's teeth?
No, because that was not with me.
Oh, that wasn't with you. Oh,
That
okay,
was,
okay.
that one was nasty.
It was so nasty. Do you speak
Yeah,
Japanese at all? Do you speak
yeah.
Japanese?
I speak some Japanese. Yeah,
Wow.
not
Nice.
not not fluently,
Uh,
but let's say the normal conversations, asking the way, or starting a chat. That is no problem. But a deep conversation only in Japanese. Sometimes I do, uh, and once they know they have to adjust a little bit, that don't talk too fast and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. Then I can speak quite good Japanese with. But I think if I go to Japan now, it will take a day or two to get into it again.
Yeah, to get into it. Yeah. I'm learning
Yeah.
Chinese, I'm learning Mandarin, and I feel
Ooh.
I have to warm up before I even try to speak to a Mandarin speaker. It's really, really difficult. It's like unlearn
I
everything you learned. You have to think in
Yeah,
Chinese. You can't just translate,
yeah,
right? It's crazy. I
yeah.
love learning new stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
I heard it. But I heard because the intonation, Japanese has it also a little bit,
Hmm.
because yeah, Japanese, like the writing is also partly Chinese, but the Japanese also has it a little bit. But in China, your intonation is different, then the word can be something completely different.
Exactly. Like if you
Yeah,
say ma, it's one thing. If you say ma, it's
Mhm.
a totally different thing. So ma means
Exactly. You know.
ma is mother and ma is
Yeah,
horse. So you can call somebody's mother a horse by accident.
yeah.
And you want to
Then
do
and then you're in trouble. And then you're in trouble.
Imagine somebody doing that to you. You'd low kick the hell out of them. Like, oh no, no. No, I don't
High
want
kick the
that.
hell out of him. High kick the hell out of him, not low kick.
Did you ever if you don't want to answer this, don't, but did you ever get into a real fight out of the ring? Like
On the
did
street?
people ever on the street? Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, really? Can you give me some details? I'm
Yeah,
afraid of it, but
yeah. Actually, I the times I fought on the street, we can count on two fingers. The last time, especially the last time, it was kind of funny. Um, there was some kind of a, how you call it, carnival, some carnival. I think they call it carnival in English. Um,
yeah.
and it was very busy in my hometown, and many people on the street drinking, all the bars open and everything. It was a long time ago. Um,
Is it
and
Koningsdag?
then
Koningsdag?
something like Koningsdag.
Oh,
They call it something like Koningsdag, not Koningsdag, but something like that. And I was talking to some girl, some ex girlfriend from years before, and we just had a nice chat, nothing wrong. And then suddenly, some guy came to her, started to kiss her, and she looked at him, but she didn't say anything. So I asked her, "Oh, is this your boyfriend?" She said, "No, he really likes me, but I don't want him." And then I said, "Okay, so the next time he comes, I knock him out." But but basically, I was making a joke. Then a minute or 2 minutes later, he came again, and then he kissed her again. But again, she didn't say anything. She didn't say "fuck off" or something. She didn't say anything. And I was like, "Oh shit, what did I say?" Because I don't want to fight just for some girl. I don't want to go into a
yeah.
fight.
Now I have to knock him out.
So I exactly. So I did as if I had seen nothing. Then he came again, kissed her again. Again, she said nothing. You know. So I was feeling like a sucker already. Like yeah, like a sissy. But I still was like, "Oh no, you don't say nothing. You don't say fuck off. I don't do nothing." And then I was having a drink in my hand, and he came and then he hit me on my shoulder. So the drink fell on my clothes and everything. So then it was personal. So then I went to him, and I hadn't fought for a long time on the street. So I was like, I'm gonna give him a left hook and then a right and this and that, and then I kick him this and you know.
Yeah.
And then after the first left hook, he was knocked out already. So that was no fun.
He wanted a whole combination. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I
But
had I had so much in my head like this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do. So he went out or down, and so he tried to stumble up. But I was very angry, so I wanted to kick him in his face while he was on the ground. And then at the last moment, I thought, no, this is not a good thing to do because I will break many things in his face and I will be in trouble.
oh yeah.
So I didn't. Some other guys pulled me away, and that's it. But
Oh.
this is like 20 years ago or something.
Oh, so 20 years ago, let me do the math. So you had already been fighting in the K1?
I was champion already, yeah.
What? That guy was crazy. Oh, he must have been like drunk and on speed or
He was
something.
drunk. He was drunk because later I decided to leave, and then he came behind me. And then I told the other guys I was with, I say, let him go out, let him go away because I'm really gonna fuck him up. I was really angry,
Oh,
you know. But apparently he was very drunk. Later, I heard, I didn't know him. I still don't know who he is, but I don't know. So if I meet him now on the street, I don't know.
that's, that was a mixture of funny and scary at the same time. So you're saying that nowadays you listen to your body quite well, and if you have to take a rest day, you take a rest day. But I'm sure that the 90s and the early 2000s were a little bit harsher on training camps and on the preparation for each fight. So how was a typical day for you of getting ready, of training? Did you have like more than one session a day? How did you do it?
I would train 9 to 10 times a week. So that would say that, for example, in the morning I could do some weight training, and in the evening or in the afternoon I would do some sparring. Or in the morning I would do pad work, and later I would do some running, something like that. Basically, the one day, like Saturday or Sunday, I would take the day off. So I was training 6 days a week with one day off. Like if I was feeling really good, that's the way I would do it.
And what did you do for cardio? What type of cardio did you do? Was it the treadmill? Was it running? Was it rowing?
Now, for example, and I still do it with the guys I train with sometimes, or they do it themselves. That's very nice. I would go to the beach, 45 minutes drive from my house, and then I would first would do some running on the beach for like 20 minutes or something, and then after good stretching, I would run up to the dunes. So up, it was like about 100 meters or something,
Like a
maybe
sprint.
even a little bit more. Yeah, sprint, a sprint, and then walk down. And as soon as I'm down, go up again, down, up, down, up, down. Uh, and I remember that in the beginning I would do that. It would I wouldn't do more than 5 or 6 times, and then at the end, that would be like 1 or 2 weeks before the fight. I would do it 10 times
No.
without without big problem.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
and actually I started to do it in the building, apartment building, the stairs, running the stairs. Yes,
oh, nice. Yeah,
up
yeah.
and down. And a lot of people liked it, but there were some people who didn't like it and started to call police for me and everything. So I
Really?
had to stop. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I had to stop with that. But but then I decided to go to the dunes, to the beach.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's safer unless you want to go to jail because there's a huge guy doing sprints on the stairs of our building. It's not
Well,
funny.
the thing is, most of the people liked it. Let's say 50 people liked it and 2 people didn't like it, and those 2 people would call police or something, and then I decided to go somewhere else and to do the dunes, and the dune it worked very good. And I remember, like, I would always do it on Sunday, and then on Monday, the training Monday was always a little bit heavy because I would feel my legs. I would still feel my legs,
Yeah.
but that was okay. I would. The funny thing is, those training were like a check. How good is my condition? You know, like I say, when I would start, I would do it 5 times, and then throughout the weeks it went better and better and better, and then at the most I did it 12 times or something. So if I could do 12 times, then I was sure that I would be very hard to beat.
Yeah, yeah, because your conditioning was incredible. Because, I mean, you guys
Yeah.
are throwing kicks and punches with all that intent, with all that explosion, and then you keep carrying on through the rounds, and you can see
Yeah.
that you guys are getting tired. But sometimes you even fake getting tired, then you go for 3 or 4 more kicks and punches, and it's
Yeah, but
crazy
I have
your
to say,
stamina.
in that I think my technique was better than most of the other fighters.
Yeah,
So the technique, if you have a good technique, it doesn't cost you that much energy. And if you throw everything with your whole body and everything, then it costs more energy. So that was better for me, I think.
yeah, for sure. I saw a couple of pictures of you training with Fedor Emelianenko. Was that the hardest? Was that the harshest of the workout training regimens in your life? Like the thing of going to the sauna and then to the ice bath, and then was it? Can you recall some of the aspects of training with that monster as well?
Fedor came to Holland to train in the beginning. and a few times. And it was funny. The first time we saw each other, I said, "Hey, Fedor, can we make a picture?" He said, "Yes, okay, just a moment, just a moment." And he ran away, went to his brother, and he took some camera too, because he wanted to make a picture with me too. So that was funny. Um, After that, yeah, we became kind of friends, and every once in a while we would meet. Um, then he had the fight, I think, with Pedro Rizzo. I think it was with Pedro Rizzo in Moscow,
Hmm.
or was it in Moscow or in Russia? And anyway, in Russia. After that fight, the next day, uh, we went into some sauna in the snow and everything, and it was crazy. And then after the sauna, we had to go to the into the snow naked.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, you guys are crazy. You guys are not normal. No, it's, but it was interesting experience, especially because it was Fedor, and then when I was in the sauna, he was waving the leaves for me. That was very nice. And yeah, up till, I mean, I don't have contact with him, uh, but when we see each other, we are good.
Mhm. Nice. You
Yeah,
you also in Holland you also have a crazy guy who does a lot of ice baths, the Wim Hof. You know of him?
yeah,
Yeah, that guy's
yeah.
crazy too. He can stay.
And many people, and some friend of mine, I have a Dutch friend, a woman. She lives in Japan, but she is crazy about Wim Hof. So she always take a cold showers, and sometimes she will go when it's snowing in Japan. Then she will go outside in the bikini. I say, you're crazy.
Oh,
You're not normal.
yeah, that's
You know.
that's not normal at all.
But 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 it appears that those people, they never get sick, and yeah, they have such a strong resistance. So it must be something good.
Yeah, there's something to it for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
be honest. When you go to Japan, do people like? Do you have to like have 10 security guards because everybody jumps on top of you, right?
Those periods in like 15, 16 years ago, yes, it was like that sometimes. If I would go, I mean, when I was still fighting, even before, 20 years ago or something, I wouldn't go out of the hotel that much. Later, I know it was 2004. In 2004, when I did the silent library uh, gigs, and I did a lot more TV things on. So I stayed for 10 days or something, and I remember I was every day working, every day going to some TV show, every day doing something, no time to do other things, only eating in the evening. And then on Sunday, I had a free day. So I hadn't been to into the city that much, because it was at some point it was almost impossible to just walk on the street. So I decided to that Sunday I was like, okay, it's Sunday. Uh, it's been a long time before I took the subway. Uh, Let me take the subway, and I'm not gonna take the taxi, just the subway. And whatever happens, happens. If people come around me and want to make pictures or autograph, it's all okay. And when I was going into the shopping area, because I wanted to buy some things for my kids. Um, then so I was going to with the subway, and everybody was looking on the telephone or watching some manga strip or something. Nobody was looking at me, and I was like, fuck, what is this? You know, uh, they don't know me anymore. I was kind of offended, because I was like, hey, nobody looks at me. They were all um, busy with other things. Then I went to the shopping area, and I was walking on the street, and I was happy that at one point somebody came to me and wanted to make a picture. I was happy, and it really funny. It was as if from that moment everybody woke up, and then they came all behind me,
Whoa.
after me. So I ran into a toy store where I wanted to buy some toys for my kids, and that's funny from Japanese fans. When I'm in the toy store, they wait outside. They don't go up behind me. They wait outside until I come out.
Very polite.
So yeah, very polite. But it was a five-story toy store, so I wanted to see all the five stories to see what I wanted to buy for my children. At some point, I bought everything. So then I went down to see if they were still there, and they were still there. I was like, no, I'm going up again because I don't want this. So I went up, and maybe 15 minutes later they were gone. And I still was like, no, I'm not gonna take a taxi. I'm going back with the subway. So I went to the subway, uh, and then I was calling with my son, and it was of course an expensive call, but everybody left me alone, so it was no problem. So I was calling. Uh, then I went to the subway. I had to buy a ticket, but while I was calling, I bought a ticket. So I had to see where to put the money, how much money, and then take my ticket out and everything. And after I did that, I took my ticket. I turned around. Then I saw there were like at least 20 people making a picture of me while I was buying the ticket. Those kind of crazy things. And I remember I was calling with my son, and I told him, yeah, those people are crazy. They're making pictures while I'm talking to you. Well, that is one of the most interesting things I experienced when I was in Japan. Of course, there are a lot of stories about, but that was very interesting.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. It must be. I just read Jackie Chan's book, and he says he didn't say the worst. He said the most flamboyant, like the most exaggerated in a way fans that he has are the Japanese, especially Japanese young
Yeah.
girls, because
Oh, okay.
it's really funny to see that he said that usually when he goes in a hotel, because he goes to Japan and then he goes to a hotel, to a given hotel, and they somehow find out where he's gonna be,
Yeah.
and then they book
Sure.
a lot of the rooms next to his room, exactly on the same floor. So it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. They can get
Yeah.
to a point in which it's really not healthy to be
I'm
that
not, I'm
huge a
not
fan.
comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when we were fighting in K1, it was like that too. The fans would come to the hotels, and
Wow.
then sometimes they would sleep there, but they would come every day. I had a fan, a female fan, and she would always come. And then, for example, at some point after the fights, you go out and you come back maybe 4 o'clock or something, and then she was still waiting to make a picture or something. And not for having sex not at all, just to make a picture, or to give me a letter, to give me some photos or something. It was incredible, you know.
Wow.
And some male friends, but many female fans. That was yeah, that was really really interesting. Many female fans, and then I would look at them, and they have an age to be mother, you know,
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
and but they don't. They're not a mother because they don't want to marry. They don't want to marry with a Japanese guy or something. And then and then you are some kind of idol for them, and they really idolize you. That is kind of strange, you know. I don't want to say scary, but it is strange.
But it is,
Yeah,
it is scary. I
it is kind of scary if you don't know what they will do. But and still, I'm sure some of them, if they know I come to Japan, um, they will come to my hotel and try to meet me. It's still like that.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
About the fights, which was or is the fight that makes you the most proud of? Because you had a lot of fights to be proud of, but is there one fight that you go like that fight over there?
There are three.
Three. Which ones?
Yeah. That was K-1 Grand Prix 1999. In 1998, in 97 I was the champion.
Mm-hmm.
In 98, I became sick. I have a problem with my skin. I don't know. Yeah, you can see my skin is a little bit rough.
Yes. Yes.
And that problem I have for years, maybe already 20, 35 years. So it can get infected. And I was in very good form, but I was training too much. And I didn't pay attention to my body. I was champion, 97, 98, I lost all because of that. And 99, I took a long time off just to relax. And in 99, I started to train again. And then suddenly I lost weight. I don't know why. Then I had to fight with Francisco Filho,
Mm-hmm.
and I already beat him one time. But I don't know. The feeling was not good. And then he knocked me out. He knocked me out badly. I cannot remember standing up. I cannot remember going back to the dressing room. I remember that I said, "What happened?" And then my trainer said, "You got knocked out." So I lost, and so I remember standing in the ring, and then I'm sitting in the dressing room. So I'm not sure how many minutes I lost, but it has to be at least 5, 6, 7 minutes
Whoa.
that I cannot remember. Um, so everybody was shocked, and people said Ernesto, and people thought Ernesto is finished. I went back the next day because my partner was pregnant, and my daughter was born, I think, 2 or 3 days later.
Mm.
Then I thought, okay, that's a very good feeling. It's like kind of like I say that the therapy for me, because I didn't have to think about what happened in the fight. But of course, after a month or something, I got a lot of questions by email. And the questions were very negative. Some of them were very negative. It was like, are you too old? Are the other fighters too good? Or shouldn't you stop? Those kind of questions I got. And that made me very angry. That made me think like, no, we're not going to do that. Fuck no. I'm going to fight. I'm going to train again. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm capable of. Well, again, 2 months later, 3 months later, I had to do the qualification match for the K-1 Grand Prix. I won my fight, so I was into the Grand Prix. I had number 6, Andy Hook at number 5. So I stood next to Andy Hook. So that was appeared to be my last fight with Andy, because half a year later he died.
Yeah.
So I beat Andy on points. And then Peter fought with Jerome. Peter knocked Jerome down with a high kick, but Jerome stood up, and Peter took too much risk, And then, surprisingly, in the same round, Jerome knocked Peter out. So my next fight was with Jerome, and everybody was sure that I would lose that fight. So in the first round, he became as a madman. He started as a madman, I mean. But I was like, I don't care, you know. I was just defending and looking. He didn't really hit me. And then the second round, I saw already his the pace was a lot slower, and then I knocked him out.
Oh.
And so the last fight was with Krokop. Krokop had basically not such a difficult. He first Musashi, and then Sam Greco, but Sam was already injured, so he basically easily won his fights. But Musashi hurt him on his body. I didn't know that, but when we started, it was equal. But after the first round, I saw he was getting tired. I was kicking him a lot to his legs because I already beat him once by low kicks.
Exactly.
So I knew he's gonna remember that, you know. So the first two rounds, I was only kicking him at his legs. So then he was slowing down already, and then the last round, I thought, okay, now I'm going to box. So I'm hitting him on his body, and he appeared to have a problem there. So he went down. He stood up. I hit him on his liver, and then he was knocked out.
Yeah. It was two
And
times, yeah, against the corner, and then yeah.
yeah, and yeah, you know, I was on the top of the world because, like I told you, nobody thought I could win. I saw the odds in the Japanese magazines, and
All in his favor.
nobody had me as a winner. And then I was the winner. You know, so it was great for them also, for K1 and for the reporters, because they didn't expect. So it was very interesting. And the three victories, like the first with Andy. I mean, I beat Andy 3 times, and Andy was a good fighter, but I don't think he was that good as a kickboxer. As a Kyokushin fight, he was very good. And then Jerome, of course. Jerome and I, we always had clashes with each other. The first time we fought, it was in '96, just after my son was born. My condition was bad. I didn't sleep so much because I was trying to help and nurture my son and give him the bottle and all those kind of things. So I was not fit. Then he beat me, and then my trainer threw the towel, and that fight made him big in Japan. So when we fought a year later, um, he was like, "I'm gonna knock him out, this and that, blah blah blah," big mouth. And then I knocked him out, and then I knocked him out again, and then we fought again, and then I surrendered. After one round, was enough for me because it was a little bit tactical. I had to fight that fight to go to the K1 finals 2000. So I fought that fight, and I lost, or I surrendered after one round. And later on, 3 months later, I became a K1 champion. Jerome was injured, I think he didn't fight. And the last time we fought, and then we didn't like each other so much because he was always like kind of arrogant. And so most of the guys didn't really like him.
He's French, of course.
So the last time,
I'm kidding.
yeah, maybe, I don't know.
I'm kidding,
you know?
of course.
But the funny thing is, so we fought the last time with each other, K1 Grand Prix 2002, and I think he expected to win, and it was a very hard fight, and we didn't back down, we didn't go back, so we always clashing. The second round, I hit him on his arm with a kick, and then my trainer came. He said, "I think he has a problem with his arm." So the third round, I kicked him a few times more on his arm, and then he was knocked out. He broke his arm
You broke his
on
arm, yeah.
three places. Yeah. So uh, so I became champion. I remember I went out in Tokyo nightlife, and I came back maybe 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock or something. I go into the elevator. The elevator stops at the second floor. Who steps in?
No.
Jerome.
Yo.
Jerome steps in with the arm in I call it Nutella or something. We
Yeah.
call it Nutella, and so we had to go to the 10th floor or something, and it's a very fast elevator, but you can understand that it took a very long time because we were silent, and I was there. I was there with some friends. Some friends from Holland were also there. So at some point, I asked him, "Did you break your arm?" He said, "Yes." I said, "I'm sorry," and he was like, "Yes." What does that say? And I was like, I really wanted to become champion, but I didn't want to break your arm. And so sorry for that. And then from that moment, we were friends. So from
Wow.
that moment, Jerome and I are very good. So every time we see each other, we are good.
Wow.
And at my last K1, uh, I lost to Semi Shield in the semi-final. I went back. I was very emotional because I knew it was my last fight, not because I lost. And when I went to the dressing room, and then there was Jerome hiding, and then coming to me and giving me something to drink, and yeah, being very nice. And so from that moment, we are good.
Oh, nice.
Last year, I was in Japan, uh, and by coincidence, he was there also. And I heard he was there to fight or something. Or he was doing some demonstration fight or something like that. And then I went to look him up, and then he was really happy to see me. And yeah, it's like amazing how things work.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Once you are that big enemies, and now you are yeah, good friends.
Wow, what an amazing story! I believe he's probably one of those
Yeah,
guys that are tougher when in the beginning, but then as they get older, they get a little bit more nostalgic, more. I know a lot of guys like that, so it's probably one of those cases in which they get a little dearer as the time goes by. Maybe even you, right?
exactly.
Were you different? Was your personality different back then? Were you more of a rough guy, or were you always this nice, for example?
No, I was never a rough guy.
Because
No,
I can
I am
see
who I am.
you were very serene in your approach, in your face, even the stare downs. When you look at the stare downs between you and Bob Sapp, it was like he wanted to rip your head apart, and you were like, not here, not here. I guess you were trying to control yourself of all that theater going on, but you looked very serene. Even the music you chose to go into the ring was something different, something like more merry, right?
Well, it was from my parents' home country,
Yeah, Suriname. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Suriname.
But still,
So
your personality, like it looked more
yeah,
serene, more serene. I guess that's the.
yeah. Well, some people like it, and some people like more Bob Sapp style,
Yeah,
or Conor McGregor style,
yeah,
or
yeah. Like in your face.
everybody has some style, and what I know, for example, is that um, when Semi Shield came, Semi is a good fighter, uh,
Amazing.
but Semi is very much how you say that, very strict. Um, he's like, yes, I'm going to fight. I'm here to do business. I'm not here to do smooth talk. Uh, I'm gonna fight, and then I go back home.
Hmm.
And that's what people don't like. People like when you do a little bit crazy or say a little bit stupid things. Um, that is what uh, pays the best.
Yeah.
That's what gave Bob Sapp so many TV commercials, because he was doing crazy things.
ぶっちけうまいね
部長夕飯味覚と
でも食べてないの
And people loved it. And even you didn't love it, you just wanted to see him getting smashed or something, you know? So those things work. And if you are too nice, it doesn't work.
How do you look at the fights you did with Bob Sapp nowadays? How do you look at it in this new perspective, looking at what went behind? I mean, how do you look at it? Would you have done anything different? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it?
Bob Sapp, when he came to, I remember when he came the first time, I was a guest for a fight, and he was also a guest. And we were together in the same airplane. I didn't know him, so he told me that he was coming, and then maybe he would fight later. Oh, okay, seemed like a nice guy. Nothing much. The next year, so that was 2001. The next year, 2002, they decided to let him fight. But they wanted to do some more WWF style showmanship with Sepp, for example. So he did things like eating raw meat in front of the camera, and we had like the action figure dolls eating the action figure dolls, our action figure dolls in front of the camera. Those kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And but the people liked it, you know. And at some point that year, 2002, I was very good. I you know, nobody could beat me. I made one big mistake. I kept on training and training and training and training. I didn't take a rest. So I was not feeling good. Then suddenly they came with, you have to fight with Bob Sapp. And I was like, what the fuck? Really? You're gonna let me fight with that clown? And yeah, then I remember Tanigawa, the K1 president. Yeah, somebody has to fight with him. I said, fuck off, you know? This is bullshit. Um, so, but then, yeah, I had to do it, so I did it. But like I tell you, again, my skin, I got problem and I got infection on my skin. And I was really not feeling good. I had fever, I had, you know, and I think my trainer, I think he must have had some kind of deal with them or getting extra money or something like that. Because normally he would say, and that's how you don't feel good, you're not good, you don't fight. This time he said, yeah, well, it's not so bad, huh? It's not so bad. I said, what the fuck, not so bad? This is going like shit. I train like shit, you know? But at the end, I let everybody convince me to do the fight. Like I say, I was not good. Meanwhile, what I didn't know is that they told Bob Sapp, you can do anything you want. We don't care. Anything you want. So when the fight started, he's coming, rushing at me, and grabbing me with one hand. And of course, he's a strong guy. So grabbing me with one hand and hitting me with the other hand, and all those kind of things. I was looking at the referee. I was like, what the fuck is this, you know? But the referee said, no, go on, go on, go on. So he hit me on my head, not that hard or something, but I was not into the fight. I had a big cut on my above my eye, and then the referee stopped the fight. So everybody happy basically, I think, or the Japanese were happy. Um, um, so I lost. He won. But that fight was live on TV, and many people watched. but because it was apparently very interesting. So I was out of the tournament.
Yeah.
Because it was a qualification match, I was out of the tournament. But as it was, as K1 was doing very bad financially, and this was very good, they were like, we want to do this again.
Yeah, they needed strong names.
So Semi Shield was supposed to fight with Bob Sapp, and they paid Semi. I'm sure they paid him some amount for not to fight. And then Sammy came with some kind of bullshit excuse that he
Was had an injury,
he
right?
yeah, he said he had some injury while he was doing some crazy thing. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
And then I would fight again with Bob Sapp. This time they would be doing everything honestly. But for me, it was like, okay, losing to Bob Sapp the first time, it broke a little bit. It broke something into me. It was like, I mean, fighting with a guy like that is not interesting, basically, because 9 out of 10 times you're gonna beat those kind of people. But hitting with the inside of the glove and those kind of bullshit, it was all good. So I was not feeling very comfortable to fight with him again, but I had to. Okay, the fight started and basically it went quite good. I hit him, knocked him down on his body. I really thought it was finished, and then he stood up, and I couldn't finish it, and I was so disappointed. And then the second round, he knocked me down, and again, and then the referee stopped the fight, and yeah, up till today, that is my worst defeat in my fight career. My worst defeat, and um, the both fights actually.
Yeah.
To lose from a clown who basically cannot fight and only is strong because he's 170 kilogram, but other than that, he cannot do shit. Now that is still up till today is very frustrating. All the other guys I have beaten him, but I didn't. So that is frustrating.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that maybe it's not, you have such great fights, and that was more like a show, and they chose like that, like I don't want to call him puppet because he might appear out of somewhere and kick my butt, but it was a little bit of a puppet show. Like it was the new cartoon that they had found that would bring people onto the show and to bring them more money, obviously. So I'm sure that whenever people talk about your bout with Bob Sapp, you go like, "Oh man, I had so many good bouts. Why do people right? Why do you only focus on that?" And I'm sure it's a
Yeah,
little
but
frustrating.
I understand because
Yeah,
nobody expected.
exactly.
So it's okay. And in the beginning, I had a lot of problem talking about it.
Yeah.
Because always I had to explain, and always the questions were about Bob Sapp. Now it's like, okay, it's 18 years ago. Um, I have peace with it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I had a great career, but that is a black spot.
You had the best career, the best career. Um, I have a few questions just from my audience in order to close this down. Well, it's been I guess an hour and a half or something. I'm not going to keep you much longer. So thank you so much for doing this. How everybody wants to know, how do you condition your shins? Your shins are metal plates. How do you condition your shins? Do you do anything other than kicking the bag and the pads?
Basically, kicking the back. The kicking the back is the best. Be kicking a hard back is good for conditioning the shins, in my opinion. And then don't kick too hard, but kick slowly, relax, and maybe for 10 minutes. And those things help. Those things work. But still, I have to say, my my shins still hurt after the fight. My shins are hurt.
Yeah.
It's not like that I have shins of steel or something. Not at all. I know fighters who have that who hardly have pain, but I do,
Mhm.
and that is also in a tournament. That was always a challenge to make sure. But then also, I would try to kick when I was sure that I wouldn't be blocked.
Okay.
So that I mastered that. It's at some moments your opponent cannot block the kick.
Yeah.
At some moment he cannot block the kick.
Yeah.
So it was a matter of uh, looking when can you kick.
Mhm.
What is the right moment? Yeah, and yeah, I mastered that quite good. So when my opponent would make a middle kick or a high kick, I could do a low kick. When opponent make a right straight, uh, after good defense, I could make a low kick. Those kind of things, or out of the combination, it is always difficult to block because sometimes I would make the kick after one punch.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would make the kick after two
Two
punches.
punches. Yeah.
Sometimes I would make the kick after three punches. Sometimes I would make the kick after four punches. So then the my opponent would never know when the kick would come, and then sometimes you could see them then trying to lift their legs after each punch, and yeah, so that would make them very insecure.
Mhm. Yeah. Between Peter Arts or Jerome Lebanner,
Yeah.
who hits the hardest? Question from the audience.
Um, the hardest hitter
Yeah.
is Francisco Filho.
Really? Out of all?
Yeah, the hardest hitter. Yeah, the hardest hitter is Francisco Filho. He has no technique. He has not good technique, but somehow his punches are very hard.
It's really heavy, right? Like,
And Jerome, I think Jerome will hit harder than Jerome, Peter, maybe Jerome, but the difference is not that big. But like I say, the hardest hitter was Francisco Filho.
either in hands and then
No
feet
good,
and then legs.
no hands.
Hands.
The legs are also okay, but I mean, I was not impressed by any of them, any of the fighters their kicks. I was not impressed.
Yeah,
Nobody,
because you
nobody really,
you
really made it that difficult to me with the legs. No,
not even Crow Cop, yeah. I remember you
no.
blocking his high kick and going like laughing in his face, and I was like, "Oh man, this is amazing!"
Yeah, that was in 99,
Yeah.
and I think that broke him also. That broke him. When
Yeah,
I left, it was in the second round. He made a great high kick.
yeah.
He was very good with the kicks. He was very good, but somehow he couldn't hit me, and so he made that great high kick, and I defended it, and then I laughed at him.
I love that
I'm sure
statement.
that
Yeah.
that broke him, and from the next round he was going less and less, and yeah, after that it was finished. When I found his weak spot, it was finished.
In K1 days, how was your typical sparring session? And this is from a kickboxer, a friend of mine who was really interested in knowing if you went all out in the sparring sessions that led up to the fights, or if it were, or where did you draw the line? That's basically the question. Where did you draw the line in the sparring sessions that led up to a fight?
You know, what was important for me was I needed my training partners. So if I would knock them out, they wouldn't come back. That was an important thing. And I am not a knockouter on the. I hear it a lot nowadays that fighters knock each other out in the training, and that is strange to me. I wouldn't do it. Uh, um, so I would do hard sparring, but not too long. Um, I would do maybe 5 rounds or something, or 6 rounds, sometimes longer, sometimes 1 hour of hard sparring. But hard sparring would mean I'm gonna try to hit you hard on your legs. I'm gonna try to hit you hard on your body. But if I hit you hard on the head, and the next day you will not come back because you got knocked out, it wouldn't work for me.
Yeah.
So that was the way I would train. I mean, I would go hard, but not too hard to the head. And I have to say, sometimes that was negative for me also in the fight. I felt that, that I could do better if I would hit harder on the training. But yeah, it's not me. I mean, like I say, I hear a lot of gyms where they knock each other out, and yeah, that doesn't work for me. I never knocked a fighter out in the training.
Oh, okay.
Of course,
That's good to
I
know,
hit
yeah.
them hard. I rock them for sure. But then I wouldn't knock them out. I mean, if I knock them out, I cannot use them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Two more questions. Do you take any supplements?
Not right now. But when I was training, I was taking supplements. Yeah.
Like what? Like protein,
And I know
vitamins?
I have been accused. I know I have been accused of using doping.
Oh,
But I can tell you, there's one time I took something which had ephedrine in it.
oh yeah. Okay.
That was what we're talking about, maybe 24, 25 years ago. And it was some guy who came to the gym, and he said, "Yeah, this is really good," and it was good. He had very good things, but he had one thing that had ephedrine into it. And then there was a track athlete who was caught
Oh, Carl
using
Lewis.
that same stuff.
Yeah, Carl Lewis.
Not Carl Lewis. No, that's
No?
a Dutch guy. A Dutch guy.
A Dutch guy? Oh,
A Dutch guy. Yeah. And I was using that for like 2 weeks, and I was feeling like hyper, when I was using that. But then it appeared to be on the doping list. So, and even though K1 was not checking doping those days, I was like, okay, I'm not going to use it anymore. Finished. Other than that, I can say I never ever used any doping. I took an ecstasy pill after my career was finished.
You gotta have fun,
And
right?
that felt really good. Yeah,
That
that
felt
was
really
really
good.
good. I did it. How many times I did it? I did it 2 times. I did it 3 times. The first time the pill was not so good. I was only sweating, and the second time it was very good,
Yeah.
and the third time too. And but that's like, okay,
That's fun.
I will not do. I will not do coke. I will not do the other things. But an ecstasy pill every once in a while, yeah,
Yeah, why not?
that I would like. On a nice occasion with friends or something, or nice party with people I trust, yeah, I would do it.
Nice, nice, nice. You're one of my guys.
Good.
I like your honesty. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I just got one more question, and this is a personal question from me. Best martial arts movies. Do you watch any martial arts movies? What are your references?
I'm not so much into martial arts movies.
Oh, come on,
Which
Ernesto.
one? Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, most of them, in my opinion,
are bullshit.
the fight scenes are good, but the acting is most of the time not so good.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree. I totally agree.
I like the
story.
Rocky movies.
You like what?
I like the Rocky movies. Rocky.
Yeah.
And especially the last one. Was it the last one, or the one when Antonio Tarver was in it? And what I liked about that is that because they had a Mr. T, or they had some kind of clowns, But then they had him, Antonio Tarver, and Tarver he's a nice, good fighter.
Yeah.
And those movies I like.
Okay. So you look for the technique, for the consistency, for the and I agree with you that it's got to have some good acting or story line.
Of course, I like a nice story. But let's say that when he was Rocky 3, I think, was it Mr. T?
Yeah, 3.
And that looked like shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
And Rocky 2 was, I remember Rocky 2. I liked Rocky 2 it's a long time ago I saw that movie.
Yeah, Apollo.
But I remember liking Rocky 2 also. But like Jean-Claude Van Damme or something, it doesn't say anything to me, you know. I like Jackie Chan because Jackie Chan is just funny.
Yeah.
You know? He is funny and he's a very good athlete.
It's amazing.
He's a very good athlete. All the stunts he do himself, what I hear, I respect.
Yeah.
Respect. You know? And it's not that I like the movies that much, but if I see the fight stunts, I'm very much impressed.
Yeah, there was a great one in Rotterdam, actually, in that building that you have this diagonal building in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
That he fell from that building. He went all the way sliding down until that end. But that end has that edge in which you still have, like, I don't know, 20 or 30 stories from there. So that was crazy. That was crazy stunt.
Yeah, well, I mean, imagine that your star actor is also your stuntman.
You might lose him in the first day.
Everything goes right. Exactly. You know?
You might lose him in the first day.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Ernesto, thank you so much for this.
Yes.
This was amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you're getting ready for a fight coming on May 8th. So I want to advise everybody to keep watching your social media and being nervous for that new fight that you're gonna go again. Are you a little bit nervous or not so much? It's like business as usual.
No, it's still too far away.
Too early. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
But I'm slightly started to train and everything, and then I have to see how my body reacts and how I feel and those kind of things. You know, that's why I take it easy. There's still a lot of time before I have to do the fight, so I just take my time. Thank you.
Go get some rest and kick their ass on May 8th.
I will. Thank
See you. Reguliersgracht.
See you. Reguliersgracht.
See you, my friend. Thank you so much. See you.
See you. Bye.
Bye.